now we dive into a pot recipe to brighten up any patio. Many of us have either bought these plants or been gifted them. And yeah, most of you don't even know what the name is, but you've had them in your home, loads, or on your patio, put them in a pot, and wondered why on earth they would never flower again. True story. So this guy is called a Kalanchoe. Now, you can buy them all year round in flower, in whites, vivid oranges, pinks, the most insane colors. And the great thing is that they flower for literally 4 to 6 weeks, whether they're in this little pot that you buy them in, or whether it's in a beautiful glazed pot like this. And that's exactly what I want it for. I want to give this pot a bit of oomph, something white in it. It's going to do the job. But how do we ensure that when we put it in here, that it will continue to survive? Well, stick with me and I'll show you how. A beautifully glazed pot, nice big drainage holes, and this investment as a pot will last you a lifetime. Okay, over my drainage holes, a few pieces of shade cloth. Nice and easy, guys, just over the holes, and all that's going to do is stop the soil from running out. And there you go, 3 little bits of shade cloth, covered it nicely. Let's go across to our potting medium. Now, I'm going to be using a premium potting soil, and the proof is always in the pudding. So this medium would be used for anything that I would consider a delicate plant, whether it be the Kalanchoes or a chrysanthemum or anything for indoors, patio that is needing to get repotted. This is the stuff to use. And I will say it because of this. When I open it up, inside here, this is a high-end potting soil that really has got everything in it that an indoor plant or a plant that requires good amounts of moisture would require. There's perlite in it for a bit of aeration. There's cocoa peat. There's also vermicast. What are those? That's worm castings, which has high nutritional value. And of course, it's also got in some composted bark. And because it is pre-enriched, I don't even need to add anything to it. But what I will do is pop it into this trug to make life a whole lot easier for me. So, really simple, guys. We're going to take this and we're going to fill up our container, in this case, at least 2/3 of the way. Right, there you go. Take your hand and then just give it a nice little firm. We're not squashing it, we're just firming it down. All right, and that should do the job. Now, let's get to these Kalanchoes. Kalanchoes, believe it or not, are a succulent. They are. They've just been changed and manipulated by the clever growers to create a plant that we can find in flower all year round. And some of you might have bought them and the things never flowered again. So I'll tell you what the secret is. Kalanchoes require at least 6 weeks of 14 hours of darkness for a consistent period in order to flower. So the growers trick them. They cover them with this huge big matting that goes over, and it kind of puts them to sleep early, early to bed, early to rise. So it's 14 hours. So naturally, this plant would only flower once a year, which is in the early spring. But because we want things instant, we want them always in flower, this is what I want to say to you. Once it's finished flowering, guys, you are going to cut away all the flower buds once it is finished flowering. But remember, it's going to flower for 4 to 5 weeks. Once that is done, you can either then literally cover it if you want it in darkness. So you'd put a big plastic sheet over it or something so that it's got 14 hours of darkness, and then it will then flower. Or else you just be patient like most gardeners and wait for it to flower the following season. But now, a quick trick, because I'm going to show you how we can take 2 plants and fill this entire pot. True story. So if you get one of these Kalanchoes, 9 times out of 10, there are actually 3 plants in here to create this instant look for us. So all we need to do is be quite smart and nifty and take a garden trowel, and all I want you to do is just pop it in there And you see, we're just doing that. And caramba, I have one. And I'm using the fork so that really when I open it up like that, I'm not breaking off the roots. They are just coming apart nice and easily. Because now what we're going to do is this. Take one baby, pop him in here, this little guy in here. Remember, don't bury him too deep. Try and get him to the same level that was originally of the pot that we purchased. Okay, and our other little tiger, he can go here. And you know, if I was kind of okay about it, 3 could actually do. But I've got 2 plants, so it's why not make it work. And our last one, which is in a smaller pot, and that one just has 1 plant in it. So a little bit of teasing there, and we can pop it right in here. And then this can be the front of my pot. So it looks really spectacular. Oh, caramba. Look, you've been growing here forever. Oh, and then all we do is take a little trowel and just fill in some back spaces here. Take the back end, firm it down. And what I love about this medium is it's lightweight. I know it's going to hold the right moisture. And talking of moisture, guys, the reason why these plants, when you have bought them, have died, or their leaves have kind of got this white furry look on them, is because you've overwatered them. Kalanchoes, Calandiva, anything that looks like this should only be watered once every 14 days and nothing more, nothing more. Now, when it comes to care of these and where will it live, remember I've said to you, as soon as these flowers go off, you're just going to follow it down to where the leaf is, good pair of secateurs, and just nip them off. Right, you'll then be left just with the foliage. That will thicken out, fill up the whole pot, and then just grow. Now, because this has been grown in a contained nursery environment to get this pristine look, you obviously don't want to take it and put it out in the full sun. Ideally, this would like a few hours of light on a patio where there's filtered light, even indoors or even in a courtyard, but not full day direct sun, please. All right, and the last thing that I want to do is a watering, and here it is important. Remove the rose from your watering can because we don't want to water the flowers. When we do that, they get little dots and speckles and they really go over very quickly. So ideally, hold away the foliage and a good drink of water. And remember, you're only going to be doing this once every 2 weeks. So it's worth the care and attention and how you're watering it now. And that is a Kalanchoe with instant appeal in a beautiful pot. That looks really gorgeous.